Hey, Tony Chips here at Chiappetta Shoes. This is Workshop Live. Today we got a lovely D15 left, D16 right, genu valgum alignment. Got a little bit of a knee issue going on today, and it's creating some just general comfort issues, some mobility issues. Lovely lady, she's been wearing our orthotics for about 6 months now. It's gone pretty well. We're doing a 6-month checkup, and she said, hey, I've been dealing with this knee pain for a while. 2 hip replacements in 2024, and the knee thing has come up a few times over the last year or so. It's starting to kind of activate and flare up on her on a consistent basis. Been doing physical therapy for the better half of 4 years now, and she's working with a guy, a lot of core strength type stuff, quadricep strength, or quadricep strength, and I think we have an alignment issue. Nothing major, but on the left side here, she's a solid D15. Walking nice and even, generally, nice lower arch foot. Right side, we have a lot of abduction, a fair amount of genu valgum alignment, knees rotating in, and rear foot pronation rolling in, okay? Now, where the pain is emanating at is on the lateral aspect of the knee and up the medial quadricep. So she's feeling inside pain and outside knee pain. When you watch her walk, she's experiencing no really main foot issues at all. So that's a good thing, but we have an alignment issue. Now, she had an orthotic, no modifications, medium-low arch height, one of our standard combos here. I did a general cleanup job. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna work on the medial rear foot and arch scaphoid area, as well as a forefoot wedge. So that's gonna be our prescription for today. And I'm going to take you top down. We'll get rolling on this. Considering what we have going on, we are going to look at, got 2 sets of orthotics. So we're going to look at the left from now. We're going to do something with the right, even though the right side is generally happy. Sometimes you want to make unilateral modifications when we have alignment issues. Sometimes we just want to do, we want to match things up. Okay, so this is going to be one of my Tony specials here. We're going to work with a scaphoid pad, okay? Now, when I do this, we got to give us enough space, and you're going to see the finished product in a sec. When I do scaphoid pads, I've said this 100 times on the Workshop Lives, 3 main different modification structures for a scaphoid pad. You can align it. Standard is just past the 5th met base on, and distal for the 5th met, kind of the center of the 5th met. We're going to do standard right there, distal just of the 5th met base. So, all right, we have this shape right here. We're going to cut that up. Now we're going to do 2 sets, just the right side for this. There. Just the right side. And what we're looking to do is support the medial arch with a standard scaphoid pad. And at the same time, we're building into the modification a rear foot medial wedge. Now we're also going to give a little bit of a wrap to the edge here too. Sometimes if you're doing a scaphoid pad, you're just working on the base. This right side is pronating in enough for us to work against the wall side too. So if you see that, that's the game plan right there. All right, so we're going to do both sets. She did say she wears one set more predominantly than the other set, so we'll keep everything matched up. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to do one set if you have 2 sets of orthotics. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to do both sets of orthotics when you're making a modification like this. Or if you just do one set, you kind of have a baseline of what you were feeling before to after. Now the key with making orthotics and working with people is that time management is essential. And when you're making orthotics, you know, you got to respect your time just as much as the patient customer's time. And they might not be able to get in on a regular basis. And unless you're charging per modification, which we don't do, Chiappetta Shoes does not charge for modifications. So I always like to say my job is to do the least amount as possible, not to be lazy, but to respect our customers' time and get a problem solved as quickly as possible. Okay, so if you see that, that's what we're working with. Now we're gonna wrap the edge just a touch to give a little extra oomph against the side of the foot. This customer has a medium-low wall height. She wears Allegria duets and some other products that work out very well. She's a busy professional and she does a great job at her job. But this knee pain is definitely limiting. Stairs, long days, she's feeling irritation and it's holding her back. So we want to give her the tools to live life as best as possible. Okay. So what we're doing, scaphoid pad, hold up that medial arch, rear foot wedge, straighten that heel out so it's not pronating in quite as much. Third aspect we're going to do today is I'm going to use 1.5 millimeter EVA FM 70 durometer firm stuff, and we're going to do a lateral forefoot wedge. We're here, here, and here, trying to steer her off her big toe a little bit more evenly. Now we can get real aggressive with stuff like this, but in this case, I think a moderate modification profile like this, a nice little recipe, is going to be the winning solution. Again, this customer is not coming in with foot pain. It's just kind of all within the knee. She's doing PT. She's doing everything right. Staying healthy. Needs just a little bit better alignment. So, we're going to get this forefoot wedge. Now, I mentioned the good side, the left side. Feet feel good, knees feel good on the left side, but what the doctor has told her is that the left knee actually looks worse than the right knee. The right knee's a problem, but the left knee looks worse. Now, you know, when I hear that, when I talk about pit orthics and mechanics, my initial thought process is, okay, well, if one side's worse than the other, but the good side hurts, what that usually tells me is you're one side dominant, right? So I asked this patient, you know, do you notice, you know, do you feel stronger on the right side, the painful side? And she said no. She didn't notice too much, anything out of the ordinary, overusage or anything else. But that can oftentimes be the case. So when you're dealing with stuff like this, just because the doc says one side looks worse than the other, you got to listen to your body. And, you know, that usually kind of tells me that there's compensation happening. And compensation can happen first with the mechanics. You might not notice your abducting or walking to the outside a little bit more. And as that happens over time, that creates alignment issues and things like that. And it's the habitual movements that we don't really think about on a daily basis, but that's where it starts. And when you start hurting, it sounds kind of goofy. You don't want to think about every single step you take or, you know, how you're walking or sitting, but, you know, on the sales floor, we're up and down on our knees and our feet, and, you know, your habits really, really are important for how you feel. So making sure you're using a stool, making sure you're sitting properly, making sure your chair has lumbar support. All those little things are definitely things that check off the box. If you're starting to feel pain, check your habits, check your routines. Don't overthink it, but put that in the mix too. And that's a very important process or step in healing and getting better. So, all right. Now, we mentioned the good side, the left side. There's not really any issues here. But what we're going to do is just throw in a longitudinal arch bar. It's one of my go-tos. I just got back from the PFA meeting a week and a half ago. Nobody talked about longitudinal arch support. It's very important. Very, very, very important. One of the 4 arches. You have 4 arches in your feet. People don't understand that either. And just to keep the left side, the bad knee, the non-painful bad knee, in good shape, we're going to throw a little extra support that way. And again, I don't want to overcorrect, but we got a lot going on the right. Let's make sure the left is feeling pretty good too. So, on both the rear foot medial scaphoid wedge and the left longitudinal arch bar, we're going to use 55 durometer multi-cork, just like what's on the core support of this orthotic. Same material, should match up, should feel nice and smooth and uniform for this customer. So, all right, everything's glued up. We'll be back. Hang tight, baby. All right, we're back. Tony Chips here, Workshop Live. We got a D15 left. Good knee, good foot, everything's feeling great. Knee, technically, arthritically, is worse off on the left than the right. The right knee is the problem. Right side has a D16 alignment, rear foot pronation, arches falling in, forefoot is splaying to the outside, medium amount of abduction, probably about 15 to 20 degrees more than normal. So you got that splaying there. Knee is bowing in, medium, slight to medium, genu valgum alignment. You have pain on the outside of the knee, pulling on the inside of the thigh there. So, take you back top down. We got a modification profile that should be the winning solution. We have multi-cork, 55 durometer EVA, scaphoid plus a rear foot medial wedge. It's a nice combo that I like to do for stuff like this. All on the right side. And then we have a forefoot lateral wedge, help her steer her off her big toe a little bit more. Wrapping up against the side with the medial wedges, and this should be a winning solution. Left side is happy, but just to help keep that going, we're going to try a longitudinal arch bar. 3 millimeter multi-cork here, nothing crazy. You can go up to 3/8 of an inch, so you can go triple this amount in certain cases. But I don't think, the foot doesn't hurt, so we're not at any like emergency status right now. Get that wrapped up. Multi-cork is great for edges because it's heat moldable. Closed cell foam is fantastic. All right, we got that. Now, forefoot wedge, you want to be careful that you don't overdo it from a thickness standpoint. When you're doing a forefoot wedge, a little goes a long way. So we're only doing about 1.5 millimeter, 1/16 of an inch of EVA FM 70 durometers firm, but it's thin, and this customer wears good shoes, you know, nothing crazy, nice professional stuff. All right. And the idea with something like this is that we're assisting her gait pattern. We're trying to get her walking less abduction, better off the big toe. The rear foot wedging and the scaphoid padding is the direct intervention for what we're trying to accomplish from an alignment standpoint with the knee. Get her out of genu valgum a little bit more or less, and hold her properly there. So let's get this all going. We're going to take this to the grinding machine in a sec. When we're wrapping up against the edge, we got to make sure you're heating it up properly here. So oftentimes I'll throw this in the oven, but the heat gun does a good job of keeping all that going. Go. Perfecto. Okay, that. Make sure you're not trimming the edge too much. Then, left bad knee, good leg. Doesn't feel any pain. Little longitudinal arch bar just to keep everything balanced nicely. Okay. Perfecto. Grinding machine. Give it a slight press with the hammer. Okay. All right, so we got this finished up. We've got nice modification profile, scaphoid pad, rear foot wedge, forefoot lateral wedge. Left side, little longitudinal arch bar. Should be good for the win. This has been Tony Chips here, Workshop Live. Thank you for tuning in. If you have foot pain, don't just settle with something that's off of the counter. Come see us at Chiappetta Shoes. Ain't no better than Chiappetta is what we like to say. Thank you. Ciao.